Warning: if you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly fuck off.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Londoner Calling Pubcast. I am Ben Drabick, joined as always by my lovely co-host Barry Tate. Barry, how are we doing this morning?
I am lovely. Well, I was lovely, but then before we got on air, we were talking politics.
We were.
Yeah, and we're both different. We nearly beat the crap out of each other.
I don't know about that actually, but yeah,
we didn't.
No cats and dogs being eaten on this show today. Everything is good. Life is good. So let's get into what the show's actually about, and that's Premier League. I'm going to start with Arsenal because we're in a bit of a crisis right now. Our entire starting midfield is out for the Spurs game. Marino's injured, Rice is suspended, and Odegaard is out for about 3 weeks, which means he's going to miss our Champions League game against Atalanta.
Yeah, but you said a crisis. I mean, if you're a Spurs fan, it's good news.
It's great news for them.
Right.
Which
so
means
it's only a crisis if you're an Arsenal fan.
I can't wait to see how they bottle it. I still think we're going to win. I think we're going to figure it out.
It's at Tottenham.
Yeah, it's at Tottenham. This is their Super Bowl. Remember last year, their captain's son came out and said, "This is it. We want to end their season for them. We don't want them to win the title. We will die on that pitch."
Do you know what? I've not watched Tottenham once this year. I've hardly seen anything.
Well, this is last year. I meant
I'm talking about how they're going to be. You know, if
they should have scored. They kind of.
Well, they lost to Newcastle, so there you go.
They lost. They dominated that game, and the only goal they scored ended up being an own goal. They could have been 3-0 up before it was 2-1 Newcastle. Even when it was 1-0 Newcastle, and the same with Leicester, they could have been 3-0 up. It was 1-0. You do that. Jamie Vardy gets a goal. You end up 1-1. They did beat Everton. Everton would beat. I mean, no one doesn't beat Everton. Everton's terrible right now. They have Villa this weekend. It's a tough one for them.
So what are you saying the Arsenal Spurs game?
So I'm still going with Arsenal. Obviously, maybe it's blind hope, blind faith.
It sounds to me like you're shitting yourself a little bit.
I'm not. I think we'll make it work. We still have party.
You're making an excuse before you've even started.
No, I'm not making this. I'm just stating the facts.
That's injured, and the animal Rice, he got sent off, so he can't play. Animal,
whatever you want to say. He's going to run your midfield. He'll play for that game. But yeah, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying what it is. We're missing our starting midfield.
I'll tell you what. Then we'll hear the excuses on the next podcast.
There won't be excuses. We'll win.
We'll
win. I got confidence in the boys. Havertz at Spurs is a cheat code. If you remember last year, he played them off the park, man of the match. This is such an important game for Spurs, especially
Have they got Vander, whatever his name is?
Van de Ven should be back. He should be back. The thing for them is now for them, though.
Is Sterling going to play?
Sterling, I think he should play. Yeah. I think Sterling will make his Arsenal debut this weekend. Whether he starts or not, I'm unsure. I think no Arsenal fan really knows how we're going to line up.
Glad to have him?
Sterling, yes. The overall vibe of him coming into the club,
sometimes when you get someone that you've called a wanker for the last not how many seasons has played for Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea.
Oh, me with Havertz.
And you've more or less hated the man.
When you had Havertz, I was like, you're not using him right. Yeah. It's a waste. He looks way different than Leverkusen. But then he came to us, and I'm like, we can fix him. We can fix him. And to be fair, I think we've done a pretty good job with that. But for Spurs, I think that as good news as it is for them that Odegaard's out, I think it triples the pressure on them because now it's like, okay, this is already your biggest game. This is at your stadium. Don't forget last year, they brought out trumpet players on the roof to introduce their team. It was everything to them. They spoke about it, they said it, they wanted it, and they were 3-0 down by half, right? So they're in for revenge, and now you get the added pressure of you're not even facing the full Arsenal team. Their first choice midfield, the guys who in an ideal must-win match, Mikel would line up, Marino, Rice, Odegaard, none of them are playing.
So because of that, are they going to have to play a different style of football?
I think that Arsenal will have to play a different style of football. I think that we will play a lot more defensive. I think we'll put more numbers behind the ball.
When you say defensive, as bad as you did up at Man City last year, you didn't fucking want to win, you just didn't want to lose. You're going to be like that?
No, I don't think so. I think we'll still be attacking, especially on the counter, and that's where we hit them last year. And I think that obviously when the game goes on, we'll have our moments as well as the possession. But isn't that how you have to hit Spurs the way they played on the counter?
They
play a very high line, so you don't have to hit them on the counter. Like, if we dominate possession, we can break them down. I think we can break any team down. But I think that with the personnel we have right now, specifically without Rice more than anyone, we're going to have to drop a couple numbers behind the ball, play some more defensive football, and let our pace of a Saka, a Martinelli, a Trossard.
So that you've got that game that's on a Sunday. fucking early on the Sunday.
Yeah, 8 a.m.
Fucking shit.
Yeah, I'll be at work already. Yeah.
I don't think there's any other real big game that.
There's not any big games this weekend. You look at there's only two games.
We would call big. I mean, you got Palace, Chelsea,
Bournemouth, Chelsea. It's Liverpool, Nottingham Forest.
They put that to 8 o'clock at night.
Man United have Southampton start Saturday super early. So again, there's no big six matchups outside of the North London derby. So that really again amplifies the pressure. No, there's pressure on Arsenal. There's pressure on Arsenal every single week with the quality we've had over the last 2 years.
Because I know we had the
Liverpool. They have Liverpool at Liverpool. Tough game. Tough game. But there's always pressure on Arsenal. But I think for the first time, because of the injuries, because of the game being at their stadium, and the way that their fans are talking about the game now, when they saw Odegaard go down, celebrating it, you better fucking win. You better fucking win. Because if you don't...
I've written there, someone said this word the other day, disposition. What does that mean?
Disposition?
Yeah.
Like a bad disposition, like not in a good spot, things aren't good.
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was in a whorehouse. She said, no. For what you've paid, you get disposition or that position.
Oh, dear God. Oh,
yeah,
my
so
God.
that's what... So...
What'd you pick? Disposition or dat position? What'd you pick?
No, I paid more money. I've got every position.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Look at that. Mr. I'm so broke over here pays for every position. Yeah, we got to splurge when you can splurge, right?
I just wrote that word down the other day.
I loved it. That was good. The one you had the other week still kills me. But let's go. I do one more thing I want to talk about before. We do have an interview coming up with Gareth. Gareth.
You can't even see. He was saying no one can say his name.
I said it because he kept saying everyone called him Gareth. So I hope he listens to this and gets a laugh.
It's not Garth Brooks. It's Gareth Brooks.
It's Gareth. It's Gareth. It's not Brooks.
We're going to call him Gareth Brooks from now on.
He wanted to go by Gareth Bale, is what he says. His friends. Yeah, so we'll go with Gareth Bale. Gareth, I purposely messed up your name because you made the joke there, just to be clear. But I do want to talk about Chelsea. I know we're talking about Arsenal and Chelsea here. I want to talk about your owners. I want to talk about your owners. I know you don't want to. For those that don't know, Chelsea have two main owners.
I can pronounce Bowie. Bowley, is it? And the other one's name, I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's the other. We'll go with the other owner.
So Bowley's been getting, he's the one who's been getting the stick from the fans.
Yeah.
He's like been the face of the, but it's evidently that other wanker that's calling all the shots more or less. And they said when the German was the coach,
Tuchel.
Yeah, Tuchel.
Yep.
And that wanker went to him and said, we need to be playing
4-5-1 or something?
No, 4-4-3.
Yeah, 4-4-3.
That's what he said. We need to be playing 4-4-3.
He told him he wanted to show him his ideas to the manager, whose job is coaching, to share as if Thomas Tuchel, Champions League winner, former coach of Bayern, Chelsea, PSG, all these accolades, he's going to be like, man, I know a lot about football. But Todd Bowley's got some points that I should really be taking into consideration. Like, are you serious, right?
No, honestly, to go to the manager and say, hey, you should be doing this, and when you know F all about it, you know, firstly, you've hired the man to do the job, let him do the job. That's any club.
And then you're rolling out with a 12-player lineup to fucking suggest.
I'm not saying you give them everything they want, because there's still, even Mourinho bought some flops.
Of course,
they all buy
everyone
flops.
does. Everyone does. Not every signing hits.
They're not cheap.
No.
But to do what they're doing there, and I mean, I'm telling you, as a Chelsea fan, fuck me. I mean, now I just want to, why don't someone come buy them both out? Bollocks to them. We don't want any of them.
They're trying to buy each other out, and it looks like Bowley might actually walk away if it goes that way. Like, if the other guy buys him out, he could come in, have invested probably by the gross domestic product of, like, a lot of countries in this world, and to the club, and then gets out.
There again, if I was an investor, do you want to buy him out, the other one, and then you got all that money, and you got this wanker that wants to run it all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put money on that dick.
Yep.
You know?
It's a weird situation.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, because I just think it's so weird to see, like, Bowley comes in.
It makes you wonder how much of it comes into the dressing room. If it can stay out the dressing room, fine, but I don't think it can.
There's barely any room in the dressing room with how many fucking players you got. There's no room for anything in the dressing room.
I heard the Stamford Bridge, they were looking at moving it to Earls Court.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep Stamford Bridge where it is. They're just going to put another changing room at Earls Court.
I heard that they're going to cut off a section of the seats in the stadium just so the team can sit somewhere. The rest of the team, just so the bench can sit somewhere. Yeah, they're cutting off a whole section.
What's the worst thing your mum's ever... I really mean this. What's the worst thing your mum's ever called you or said to you that you can remember?
Oh...
Come on, be brave. She don't listen to this.
Oh, she does listen to this.
Does she?
I can't think of something right now. My mother's a lovely woman. She's so sweet. Really? Yeah, she's really sweet.
My mum... I remember one of the worst things she ever... When I say the worst, it didn't bother me at the time, but now I'm thinking about it. It wasn't very nice, Mum. But I was in London, living in London still, and I had this car. It was an old car, and when the car would heat up, it would drip oil onto the manifold, and it would smoke like crazy. But it was just oil dripping on it. It didn't do anything. So crazy. My mum was coming over to America to visit my brother, who lived here at the time. I was still in England. So I picked her up in the car, and... you know, she was, I think, about 78 years of age. So she was leaving from Heathrow Airport. Okay, so in London, you got main airports are Heathrow or Gatwick.
Yeah.
So she'd leave them from Heathrow. And like anybody else, when they travel, she's nervous and she's a bit, you know, you check your passport 8 times, your ticket,
of course,
I've got it.
Oh, same. I do it a million times.
So she gets in the car and we're driving. After about half hour, it will start smoking. And I knew what it was, but it's just the oil dripping on that.
Yeah.
So I went, oh, for fuck's sake. She said, what? I said, oh, it's all right, Mum. So I pulled over the highway, motorway.
Yeah.
I lifted the hood. And there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm banging around, and poor woman stressing out like fuck.
She's trying to make a flight,
So I put my head around from the hood. I said, hey, Mum, you got a pair of pantyhose on? I said, I think it's a fan belt. No, I haven't got pantyhose. I said, hang on, all right, don't worry, I'll sort it out. I started banging a bit more. I shut the hood. I said, I think we're okay, Mum, we're okay. Oh, I hope we're not late. No, I said, we've got time. Anyway, so we're driving, okay? We're about 5 minutes outside of Heathrow Airport. So I said, I'll tell you what, Mum, considering we stopped, I said, we're not doing so bad. I said, we'll be in Gatwick in 5 minutes. Gatwick? Oh, she said, I'm going from Heathrow. I said,
my God,
and we turned the corner and it said Heathrow Airport. She said, you're an evil little bastard.
Yeah. She had a point.
Did she?
She had a point. That was cruel. That was cruel. You already had her stressing once, and then you doubled down. I get it. That's funny. No, she's fair.
Looking back, I could have given her a heart attack.
You might have.
No, but it is fucking funny.
It is good. It is good. I love the banter, but that poor woman, for real.
Yeah, like, has your mum ever called you an evil little bastard? What got me?
Evil little bastard.
Yeah, that's what got me.
Yeah.
It wasn't an evil little bastard. Why put the word little in, Mum?
Yeah. That seemed like a shot.
I still would have done it. Yeah, that was a cheap shot.
To be fair, why say you're at the wrong airport? Why say you're at the wrong airport, though, too? So, anyways, guys, we got a great interview coming up.
She made the flight. She got there on time.
Oh, that's all that matters. Everyone wins.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got a great interview coming up with Gareth Bale, as he likes to go by. So make sure you stick around for that. And then following that, come back and make sure to listen to Barry and I give out our Wanker of the Week.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, every week.
Okay, yeah. All right, then.
Hello and welcome to the interview part of our show. Today we are joined by Gareth. Gareth is a Man United and England supporter. Probably more England than Man United at the moment, I'd assume.
100%.
So how are you doing today, man? Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Obviously international breaks just happened, so we'll talk a little bit about England and how, in my opinion, how good they looked. Nice to see a bit of free-flowing attacking football from the boys. And then we can talk about the disaster that's United at any point.
Yeah, so first let's start with...
Am I fucking invisible?
I wish.
Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, hello, Gareth. I'm fucking sitting here.
We just talked.
I could have come here an hour later.
You could, maybe. We'll still do our chat. We always do our thing.
Hurt my feelings.
Anyways, let's start with where you're from, how you became a Man United supporter.
Yeah, it's a pretty good story. So I'm from a small town called Buckingham, which is closest to Milton Keynes, kind of near Oxford, sort of about an hour north of London. So my grandfather and my entire family are Arsenal through and through.
Good family.
My grandfather was, I've heard, was playing at a certain level, whether he was scouted or in their youth system at some point. But he was in and around Arsenal. In the mid-50s, my dad was going to every single game with his dad, just the way of it, dragged along. But he watched Manchester United play against Arsenal, and I would say this is probably around 1961. At about 7 or 8 years old, my dad declared that he liked the way that Manchester United played their football. Cut to, my dad turned 16 years old. He's now the black sheep of the family. He is a Manchester United supporter.
Okay.
My dad at 16 years old gets his own season ticket, is going up every single week, and he saw some unbelievable players and unbelievable games. I mean, he was there for George Best's 6 goals against Northampton Town. It's wild. I've got all the rosettes, I've got all the programs and tickets.
Wow,
you still got
so
them?
Much fun. I've still got them. I've got them here in Dallas, which is wild. So yeah, he was a massive. He did that, and then honestly, when I was born, 4 years old, I didn't really have much of a choice. I was going up every week as well.
Yeah.
And the good thing about my dad with football is we would watch non-league games, we would watch local games. We'd go up to United, and if we couldn't get in, or if something happened, we would probably go and catch an Everton game, or we'd drive across to Liverpool and watch them. He wanted to expose me to as much football as possible, but. Realistically, I went to United a lot when I was a kid. 2005, bought my own season tickets, had those for 3 years during the brilliant Rooney Ronaldo era. A great side. Was there for the Roma battering, and then now season tickets still in the family.
Nice.
and we pulled another couple over. I've got a cousin that came to join us. My other cousin came to join us. So we're a bang split between Arsenal. So like you're talking about football rivalries. I mean, obviously Liverpool's a big rivalry of ours. City's a big rivalry, but I really do not hate anyone more than I hate Arsenal.
I'm glad you came on.
Yeah,
That's
you.
fair.
Really glad you came
That's
on.
fair. Yeah, must not be too happy with the past couple results over the years.
Yeah, for sure. But still haven't won a league, so.
Well, it's a little closer than you guys.
Yeah.
What was it, 8th place last year?
Yeah.
8th place.
Close,
But you got-
don't
you
know
got-
how close you get.
Got an FA
Second.
Cup, that was nice. You get to stay in Europa League, kind of a silver lining.
We got the reprieve, didn't we? Like this
Yeah.
is the thing. If we're going to get into United, like it is obviously a disaster right now. It is. I don't know what they're doing to change the culture. I'm happy with the takeover. I'm happy with everything that's happening. But I'm like, if you're going to make it, like, I think all United fans, if you actually reached out to United fans and said, if you said, right, this is the project we're going to do, we are going to do an absolute rebuild. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about next 2 years, and don't worry about finishing top
the
4.
one new owner has said that. He said it's a rebuild. Or
Yeah, well, he kind of did, but then he kept the manager, and I'm like,
That's why I don't get. Are you
What the
happy
hell?
with Ten Hag extension as well?
The-
And the money you've given him.
I've got to be happy with. There's a couple of things you have to consider. Who was around at the time, right? People were chasing their managers. Like Liverpool that was a third choice manager on his lot. Like no one got the managers they wanted. So at that exact point of time, I think the decision probably was right to keep Ten Hag, give him a go under the new regime, and I kind of understand it. But again, man, United managers just seem to have this trick of always pulling out a result at the right time.
Oh, it's
Ollie
incredible.
did it when Ollie did it at Paris Saint-Germain.
Against City in the FA Cup final.
You mean just enough to save their job?
Just enough to
Right
save
when
their
you
job. I
think
mean,
they're about to
you
get
lose
cut.
that FA Cup final 3-0 and he's 100% gone. There's not even a question. But he gets a lucky result, and now we're backing him again. Like, there's a lot going
How
wrong with
many years has he
United.
been here? Because he said he's won 2 trophies in 3 years, which he's,
So 3
he's
years.
right.
Which he has.
Which he has. Do you feel the trophies are kind of masking the real problems at the club?
Yeah, I think definitely they
Yeah.
are. I think we've got a little bit lucky in those trophies. And, I mean, obviously...
Your draw for the Carabao Cup, you didn't have to face any of the big boys until
Correct.
Newcastle in the final. A little fortunate. And then again, you get a drunk Man City in the FA Cup final who openly admitted that they were kind of drunk and not really caring about that final after winning the league.
Winning trophies is nothing to be sniffed at, but it's everything that goes along with that. Like, you've got to be
You
competitive.
say nothing to get sniffed at. They haven't even had a sniff. They take a
You've
sniff,
gotta
wouldn't
be
you?
I mean,
competitive
Chelsea
all
have
around.
lost, what, like 7 straight domestic cup finals? Or something?
But we got there. We got there. We're okay.
Yeah, so you got
I'm
there.
happy
We
with that.
beat
yeah.
you in a couple of those, actually.
We're rebuilding.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, you
we
gotta-
rebuild every
we can
summer
rebuild
with
the
like
fucking league with
300
the players
million.
we got.
Yeah, about to say, you could have your own league, literally.
You can kind of liken it to England a little bit if you want to, right? And obviously Gareth Southgate's had a phenomenal success doing a lot with England, but there is a likeness there because you're dealing with 2 managers that just didn't have the next level to kind of bring it home to glory. You had 2 guys that synonymously. The style of play is not enjoyed by the fans. Like,
No.
United don't like the way, in my opinion, Ten Hag football doesn't work.
No, it
like
doesn't
Ten
look
Hag
good.
needs to find another method. He needs some other ideas because the way that he wants to play football, it's not working and it's not going to continue to work. In
Well,
my
it looks
opinion.
like he's been desperately trying to recoup the football that he got him so popular, which was with Ajax back in the day.
sure.
And not only is he doing that, he's buying the team. He's got Delict, Meswari,
That's the thing about it. I've seen
Anthony.
that. It looks
and
like
you look
he's-
at it, he's just buying. If you look at Man United's roster, the amount of Dutch, Xerxes as well now up there,
And-
the amount of Dutch players they have,
Right.
or former Ajax players that played in him, it's like he's just trying to recreate it, and that doesn't work because there's a reason that there's 2 different leagues. Dutch football does not always work in the Premier League. We saw
Right.
last year when, I'm just going to use Arsenal, we played PSV in the Champions League, battered them. Their style of football didn't work.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't always translate well. But like you said, he does just enough. And one thing that frustrates me on Ten Hag is the way he conducts interviews. And I want to know about, as a United fan, if this gets to you too, because he'll be asked about the poor football he plays, and his answer is always, well, I've won 2 trophies. Well, no one other than Pep's won more trophies than me. And it just kind of seems like a very politician way of answering of, I'm not going to answer your question even though it's valid. Shiny trophy instead.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's deflective. I think deep down he probably knows that he's
Yeah.
not good enough. I think there's a lot of inferiority complex with him. I think
Very
you can
much.
see it quite clearly. The biggest issue I've got with the whole situation, you came onto it with buying players, right?
Oh my God.
We do have a lot of trash there right now. I mean,
Yeah.
how Anthony is still putting on that shirt is
it's because
beyond me.
you gave him, he's on like $100K a week, which
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
outrageous, but for a player of a backup quality,
Yeah.
yeah. And then y'all wanted to sell him this summer, and apparently Real Betis had agreed to a loan, and he said, nope, I want to stay at United and fight for my place. And normally you want to be like, yeah, that's great, like, maybe, but he's just not working out. Is it the money you paid for him? And it was all Ten Hag that drove that,
100%. There's been some bad signings that came before that. Like, there was some...
Casemiro, the way he's $350K a week, and he can't even run.
Yeah, there is that. Now, that wouldn't be so much of an issue if you just look at the United blueprint. The blueprint is there for success every single time, and it comes down to trusting your young players. We have a phenomenal system of bringing through young players, but this like outrageous buy-in is just stunting all of their growth, and you can see it. You see Angel Gomez getting in the England side this week.
Well, Chelsea have done the same thing, though, haven't they?
Yeah,
and we've got the youth. I mean, like you said, you look at the youth with Beckham and all that. You know, the golden boys era. It's the same. I wish they'd believe in youth a little bit more.
And I think that was the point. Like, Ineos had the chance. Well, why are you not coming in and following the United blueprint? Why are you not coming in and going, okay, and let's just calm down.
If you see them coming through that, you did happily put up with it.
For sure you will. Every United fan will go, okay, we're not getting the results, but that is a United through and through team. Look at the names on there. Look at this boy. He was in there since he was 12. Since he was 14. We've got the talent to do it. Just... trust them, know the results aren't going to be great, have a couple of experienced heads in there with them. Of course you do. You know, that always happened. You had the experienced heads with the young boys, but I'm like, there was a chance to do it. And now
Casemiro would be handy. I'm not saying play him every minute. Even Johnny Evans is still there. They've got
We're getting dangerous close to naming a completely non-English 11 at United soon. And that'll be a disaster. That's really never happened.
Yeah. So
what was it?
Go on, Barry.
When you used to go and watch them, is there any specific game that really sticks out in your memory?
Chelsea FA Cup final. Sorry about that.
Did we win?
1992.
Why would he remember it if you won?
Well, no, you never know.
1992 FA Cup final was probably my greatest memory of being a kid and watching United. We won 4-0. Eric Cantona scored two penalties in the same corner. You'd beaten us both times in the league that year, and Gavin Peacock had scored in both games. And that was the best game that I think I've ever been to. Best atmosphere, and I'll always remember that one. The walk down Wembley Way, the drive there, listening to Come On.
Was it the old Wembley then? It must have been.
Old Wembley, listening to Come On You Reds on the way down there, just me and my dad driving down. It was magical.
I've not had the memories, because firstly, I mean, not that I grew up without a dad, but I've never been to Wembley. The only time I went to Wembley, do you know what I saw there?
What did you see?
Dallas Cowboys.
Wait, seriously?
They're playing the Miami Dolphins at an exhibition at Wembley. It's the only time I've been there. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And before I moved over here.
Don't they do the NFL games in Spurs Stadium now? When they built their stadium, they made it so it's like a joint thing. It can switch to NFL soccer.
They did a smart thing, Spurs, doing that.
It was.
Two at Wembley, there's NFL money in the Spurs Stadium, right? So there is a venture there, and they've always said, I don't know how much you want to believe it, but they've always said that if there is a British franchise of a football team, which is rumoured to be someone like Jacksonville, because obviously it's going global and big cities.
Well, Jacksonville, they have that agreement. They play like 2 or 3 games in England every year.
And that's why the rumour's always been strong that if there is going to be a team, it may be that franchise that will be built there. And essentially Spurs Stadium will be the home stadium. Damn. That's the strong rumour's always been around. It makes sense that it's
the Jaguars, a very subpar team that loses a lot going to Spurs Stadium.
Also, you ask anyone in the world, where's Jacksonville? They probably don't know. No. Like, you say, where's Miami? They say Florida. You say, where's Dallas? They say Texas.
Maybe Florida's win a trophy.
Florida's got 3 teams, Dolphins, Buccaneers, and Jaguars. They can spare one,
so
right?
if you're going for that global sport, you've got Las Vegas.
NFL's been doing that more. You saw the game in Brazil last Friday. Yeah. I don't agree with that. Personally, the players came out saying, I don't want to be here. We can't leave our hotel.
They enjoyed it afterwards. I mean, maybe they were...
I feel like the Eagles probably enjoyed it a little bit more since they won. I'd be pretty upset if I was
I remember 5 years ago, Todd Gurley came out for the Rams. They were playing in London, and he went off on it. He got shunned for that. Like, he was like, this is just ridiculous. The jet lag's kicked in. The facilities aren't good enough. Like, he kicked off about it.
But it's no different when you're, like in England, you're playing Europe. I know it's not as big a travel. Yeah. But that's what you need to spread it around the world.
I think that part of it is the travel, and also just like, not that soccer isn't difficult, but football's a very physical game.
Yeah.
You play it once a week, and also they've got games in Germany now, so I get the players being like, look, like, also more so for the fans, if we had to lose a home game, like, if I say I have season tickets to the Cowboys, and we get told, hey, one of your home games this year is going to be in Germany, I'd be like, well, why am I paying full price for one less game? Like, I'd be furious. So I'd be very upset with that. But for the players too, like, it's not like they're traveling from Liverpool to London or something. Like, they're going from California to Germany.
If they're going in a week as well, like I know how I am when I come back from a trip right over there. Mate, I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning on the third day hungry. Like there's no way they can be at peak. No
and then
way.
too, you have 6 days to then fix your sleep schedule, get your body right, get your mind right, and do it again on Sunday.
Have you seen the fans at those games? It's like, man, it's kind of laughable. Like, I've got a lot of friends that go and do it, and great, they're getting to see NFL football.
It's cool.
But my goodness, it's like a patchwork quilt of different jerseys. There's no atmosphere at all. No one's cheering specifically for a team. You've got just like all the different teams.
More so in England than America. We've seen it more in America recently, but fans are more fans of players than teams.
Correct.
And I see it more now with this new generation of kids that like my boss's son like loves Justin Jefferson, right?
Okay.
Like loves the receiver for the Vikings, probably the best receiver in the NFL. Arguably, you can make that debate, but it's like, well, he likes the Cowboys because your dad works for the Cowboys, but your son's wants a Justin Jefferson jersey. It's like, well, he's not rooting for the Vikings, but he just loves Justin Jefferson.
You talk about atmosphere. I don't care which. You can never compare a soccer atmosphere to American football atmosphere, no matter how busy. No. I went to Cowboy State once. I've been there. I've lived here 30 years. I went there once. And I just thought, because firstly, the game itself, even when people do cheer, they'll cheer, then they'll stop.
Yeah.
Then they'll cheer that. Soccer, it builds and builds and builds a good game. And the whole atmosphere.
There is only one atmosphere of an American sport that I would say is anywhere close to it, and it was the time I went to Kyle Field to watch Texas A&M. College football.
Don't give them credit. Don't give A&M credit.
College football might be the closest thing to an English Premier League
it has
atmosphere.
that. I feel like college football so much more than NFL has more tribalism in it.
Right,
that you
it
see
has
with
the
football.
intensity.
Because a lot of people, like for myself, I went to TCU and I worked TCU football games, and when I'm there, like I'm locked in. Like I need TCU to win. Like I need air. But like other games, I was watching entertainment. But you can feel that with the fans in the stadium and all the people that went there, the alumni, the students. It's way more desire to have that.
It's intensity, but without the hostility. That's what you got to add. The little layer on top, right? So you got the intensity, you got the loudness. The little layer on top at an English Premier League is the hostility, because is like everyone just wants to kill everyone.
That's even better when I play a game and there's a little bit of that, little bit of niggle in it. I love it. And then even when you're watching it, when there's a little bit of niggle and you need that. That's part of it.
And clever banter, like you get those guys like
the chants,
the yell leaders, and all that kind of stuff at college football. It's a little bit embarrassing.
We're giving too much credit to A&M.
Who was your favourite player for Man U? Is there one specific?
Yeah, probably in slightly different eras though. So like growing up, Lee Sharp was a big player for me. I liked Lee Sharp. I played in a similar position to him. So I played for 17 years, and Lee Sharp was a big guy for me. I was a big fan of Brian McClare, a big fan of Mark Hughes was such a good striker for us. But
I put Mark Hughes as the only player I wouldn't want to play against.
Yeah,
he's a tough bastard. He played at Chelsea as well, but
he was
a tough bastard.
He was nasty. But then, I mean, it probably sounds cliche, but like I'm pretty much same age. Weirdly, I'm the same height as well. Beckham, I watched Beckham's debut. I watched him come through and play at 15.
He's better than you.
You got
two out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, tough to compete.
I watched him play his debut, so I was literally the same age as him, watching him on the pitch, and then watched him all the way through his career at United. So Beckham.
It's kind of crazy when the players start to get older than you, or you're same age, and when you start watching a sport as a kid, and then the players start to be older or younger than you, or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the other way around as well. I saw Rooney this week looking like an absolute tub of butter.
He scored the first free kick at Old Trafford since Ronaldo did for when he was at his second stint at United, which is a stat.
The last time I saw Chelsea play at Stamford Bridge, I haven't been in years. Beckham was playing against Man U, and he scored against us.
Damn.
Wanker. He was 19. That's a long since I've been to.
I think I remember the goal.
I still remember watching when Saka first broke into the Arsenal team at 18. I was like, 18. Like I'm 20. Like what the hell is going on? Like who is this kid? And even now.
What about with the so you got the you mentioned something about Roma game. Man U Roma. What was that? You said they gave you a thrashing, did they, or something?
No, we smashed them.
Oh, you did then? Okay, I was trying to
get Champions League on a Wednesday night, and it was ridiculous. It was 7-1. It was insanity.
Was that
Great
the first
game.
league?
Yeah.
And you lost the second one, 8-1?
Hey, come on.
Do you have a favourite player on the current squad for United? Someone that you like? I know it's not the squads of yesteryears.
No. I've had some favourite players over the last few years, but I would say out of players that I like right now, I do actually. I'm quite a big Garnacho fan. Yeah. I think Garnacho, he's a product of, semi the youth system. He has come through in a certain way.
He came from youth. He did. He's been there a while.
Yeah, obviously Mainu's going to be
He's
next
a
level.
beast.
Kobe's
He's a beast.
going to be really good.
Yeah.
Other than those two, I'm not a massive.
Is there one called Ahmed or something came on?
Yeah, so Ahmed
That's the
Diallo.
one I was trying to think.
Ahmed Diallo.
Diallo.
I actually liken him to Saka. I think he's a very Saka-style player. If you watch the goals, they're very every time he scores, I'm like, that's a Saka type goal. It's a cutting in, it's a low finish. But one of my favourite players at United recently, and this is, you don't get many players that have this tenacity and a want and a desire to be at the club. The only person that's shown that in the last 4 years is Diogo Dalot.
I was going to say Dalot.
Diogo Dalot is the
much.
only player that has actually shown that he wants to play for United in the last 4 years. It's brilliant.
I have another question for you on the note of the current squad, because I have this debate with my friends who are United fans. What are your thoughts on your captain, Bruno Fernandes, and him being the captain of your team? I agree with Barry here. Like, I think he's one of the worst leaders in the Premier League.
I agree with that.
I see in big games he will A, just not play well, and then B, when he doesn't play well and they're losing, I've seen multiple times him asked to be subbed off, pouting,
you
head
see the
down.
pouting in the face and just his whole demeanour. And even if you're playing shit, come on, let's get stuck in.
Even
you need that as a captain.
Because I watch more Arsenal than anything. When we're losing, I see Odegaard go pump the crowd and get to talk to the boys, and before the games, he's in the huddle talking to them, talking with Arteta constantly. I just don't see... I see that from other captains, too, amongst the Premier League. Obviously, Rodri with Pep, and anyone that plays for City does that.
I know there's certain players out there, and the team might be playing bad or they're losing, and they'll go in and do a real dirty, nasty, horrible tackle, enough not to get sent off, but it gets everybody wound up and it pictures. You need someone like that.
Absolutely,
actually.
that was the Granit Xhaka way, right?
Back to Bruno. What do you think of him being your captain?
I mean, you can't deny that he goes missing in big games, and you can't deny. I'm not a massive fan of him being captain. I think you're completely.
Who would you have as captain if it wasn't him?
That's the thing. I don't think there's another clear choice. There's not. There maybe was one if he'd have broken in and was playing regularly. The only person that has the temperament for it, in my opinion, would have been Scott McTominay.
Yeah,
would have been a proper captain.
They let him go.
I'm very upset.
Oh yeah,
especially when you look at Casemiro too.
Just 2 weeks ago, that Liverpool game was a Scott McTominay game.
Needed it.
You need him.
You needed someone to scrap, and Casemiro doesn't do that anymore.
Absolutely. I mean, Casemiro should not be putting that shirt on again, and I don't think he actually will. I think we've got Ugarte coming in, and I think when he settles, I'm not sure.
Ugarte.
I'm not good with names.
Close enough.
I think he's going to be decent, and he's going to provide.
Where'd they get
Kobe? He came
PSG.
From. Okay. That's
Sporting
right.
the Sporting to Man United pipeline of Ronaldo, Nani, Bruno, and now Ugarte continues.
When I'm changing the subject here. Yeah. You got that because I went into Addison a while ago with England were playing, and I'm using this pub. I'm the one in Colliver. I let Addison get on with it, and they do. And I went in there, fucking loud as fuck, the music, and I said, turn the music down. No, it's not us. They got their own music. So it's him and all his mob in there, and they're enjoying it, and I didn't say anything, but they love it there. They absolutely bring. They bring Wembley to the Londoner in some ways. They're there, they're singing, they're shouting.
Bringing Wembley to the
I really
Londoner.
mean that. As much as you can. Like you were saying when you first moved over here, and we don't realise, we kind of realise, but when people go to Addison and they get in there with all you said, they're from all parts of England and you all kind of join together, and it's a godsend, isn't it?
Well, I think, I mean, genuine thanks to you for having something like that available to people like us. Like, honestly, we all say the same thing. We have there's a decent sized crew of us, and there's a tight knit group, and it sprays out past that. But like, we got this little Three Lions Dallas situation, and every person in that group will say the same thing. They never thought they would have anything close to that atmosphere, that level of banter, those kind of people when they move to Texas. There's obviously everyone's a little bit worried about losing that. You've left all your mates. You've left all your going down the pub and watching the football. You've left all of that.
The culture,
You've left all of that culture, and the banter's a big thing. And we get it every single time. And this group is just so good. Like we all get along, and we all support different teams.
Do you know Dave from London?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was on here and he said this because he'll only go and watch Man. We had him on here and we started talking about some other games. I only watch Man U.
Yeah.
Oh really? Yeah. And he only watches Man U or England.
Dave was a big fixture this summer. He had his table, he had his chair. We sorted Dave out. He comes up with some suggestions for some songs occasionally that are a little bit too old for the boys, but he does pretty well. But yeah, we got a good crew. And everyone supports different teams, but no, it's amazing that we've got that location to do what we do, and like we do go pretty nuts. Like the final, a massive "This Is England"
Oh,
banner.
actually, I'm going to sort something out with them, because I didn't realise when the finals there, the last 2 finals evidently, they're there day in and day out for the England games. I don't know if you go there for Man U and that, it's not a big deal, but
No, so the boys do. The boys go for other games.
But they are there for the England games, and you help give it the atmosphere that we open a place, we put the tellies on, it's you lot to give it the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so we have to appreciate that side of it as well. So in future, I don't know what, because we do not ever let somebody book a table for a soccer game.
Yeah.
The mere reason, like I explained, everybody, when we do that, everybody
fair.
comes here at once.
Yeah.
If we do it with first come, first served, they get there earlier, which, to be honest, we serve
Better for your
people earlier.
business, yeah.
But it gets settled by the time the game's on.
It's
And
also, also more fair.
I've got to be honest, even when we're as packed as we get, they do a great job in Addison. I know you might not get served, and you might not...
we never had an issue at all.
No, but that's it. But what I will do in future, we need to work something out where the England crowd that we get there, the boys, we'll get them all there and we'll work something out. I don't know what yet, but we won't let you have the problem you had the last 2 games. I promise you that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we do. We build a great atmosphere in there every time. Like we've all the group games all the way through the quarter semis, and by the time we get to semi-final, like I've told you before,
I'll forget about it.
We're up on chairs. We're singing songs. I mean, like we've got a crowd of people like 20 yards away, and there's like 30 of them, phones out, all filming us, posting on their TikTok stuff. My boys are taking their tops off, thinking they're in one direction. Yeah. Like it goes a little bit wild, but. We feel like we do a really good job of building the atmosphere there. Yeah. We love it there, and the only downside ever has been a final. I've told you that. Yeah. The staff and the place do great. They help us out as much as we can, but there's nothing you can do about being overrun by knobheads. Yeah. And that's what happens at the final.
Well, the other thing
you just get a load of people that haven't been there at all to just come flooding in.
I've never seen it so packed as we got here on the final.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't stop them coming in. And when I say packed, that's no good to me. We couldn't get through to serve anybody. Yeah. We couldn't. Loads of people standing, nobody with a drink or anything.
Yeah.
And we just, the hard part is someone said, well, you need to get more staff. You need to serve beer outside. Every pub we got, we're fully staffed. We can't bring in people just for a day.
No, yeah.
And so it's difficult. So we've got to, it's a little bit, we've got to work out the crowd control. I don't know how yet.
Yeah, you know? It's a tricky one because everyone wants to watch a game, and and you're a business, so you want to do it.
In future, people that get in first are people that are the same height as David Beckham.
That's a good rule.
What a great shout that is.
That's a great rule.
That discounts at least 3 of my boys. That's fine.
Yeah, that's huge.
I can't go to my own pub.
That's brilliant.
Okay, we do have to wrap up this interview segment, but I want to get a prediction from you on where United will wrap this season. Will there be trophies? Will there be top 4? Will there be Europe? Will it be disappointment? I know it's a very small sample size to play 3 games.
Yeah.
New signings, new players, same manager. Where do you think this United side finishes this year?
Well, I don't think in any year of watching United I've been begging for an international break after 3 games. Yeah. Which is what happened this year, which is not great. However, I do think we're going to settle. I do think we will get players into the scheme. I do think that Ugarte is going to come in the middle. I think that's going to be better. We're going to get Højlund back. We've got some injuries right now. I'm going to predict that we will actually push the top 4. There's going to be. Can you
give me your top 4?
Yeah.
Hang on. You put Man United this year in the top 4.
No, I'm saying pushing top 4.
Pushing top 4.
There's going to be a chance.
What, pushing from 18th position?
There's going to be a chance for United to make the top 4 with 4 weeks left to go of the year.
Wow.
That's what I'm going to say. With 4 games left, there's going to be a chance. Now they could probably...
Can you give me top 5 teams you think will be competing with them?
Top 5 teams.
It brings in that phrase, doesn't it? That phrase. Love is blind.
It depends. We might see a couple of surprises this year. Teams like Brighton are looking really good.
Brighton look great.
They might.
They got lucky, but.
So I think from what I've seen so far, sample size, I think City win the league.
Who?
City will win the league. I think.
Who's second again?
Liverpool will be second.
Oh no! Where did you put them down the third?
I think Liverpool look really good. Liverpool played well against us.
I've not watched them. I don't get to watch the games. I really haven't watched them.
Watch them against United. They look great.
Is it? Yeah, City win it. Any combination the next 3. Spurs are
1-1-1.
Yeah, Chelsea might be in and around. I think they might turn it around a little bit.
The only thing about that, I know we've got a new manager and they're trying. I didn't mind watching them in the last game. I fucked up against Palace, but. It's all this other shit going on now with the owners and that. You know, you got all that.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier in our segment, but the Chelsea owners wanting to basically get rid of each other is kind of funny.
Let's say City. I think City will probably win it, but let's say Liverpool, Arsenal. That's 3 of your top 4. I think there's 5 teams that can vie for that last place.
We got Chelsea, United, Spurs, Villa, Brighton, and Newcastle.
Yeah. Any of those guys pushing the top four.
That's fair. I think Newcastle look really good.
You're
Yeah,
talking
completely.
about doing well. Brighton have done bad. A new manager. They've sold a load of players, which they do every year. They always sell players, but they always seem to replace them. They find them for pennies.
Yeah. They've still got Danny Welbeck scoring against Man United.
Yeah, no, he's good. I like it.
Welbeck.
Killer.
Yeah. So that's one other thing we've got to do is Gareth's wife is close to giving birth to their first child.
Oh, I love this. Let's wrap with this.
Well,
Congratulations.
No, congratulations, but it sounds to me like
Another Man United fan entering the world.
unless they sort the name out soon,
Naturally.
she's going to get rid of him.
What do you mean?
Yeah, well, they're arguing over the name. He wants a wanky name, evidently.
What's the name debate? Let's wrap with. We'll ask the audience too.
I'm not going to give the name up, but there is. I'm pretty set on the name. She's got a little short list. She wants to see the baby. I'm
Listen,
like, why do you need to
I'll
see
tell you
the
what,
baby?
we're going to save your marriage. We're
Yeah.
going to choose the name. We'll get people to
Is it
write
a boy
in.
or a girl?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
It's a boy, but Beckham is in the mix.
See, I'd have got rid of you just for that. I'd have got rid of you.
That was her. She liked that one.
Cristiano.
I like Cristiano.
Cristiano.
Eric, maybe we go Eric.
Yeah.
Who else? Wayne. Maybe throw Wayne in there. Rude's chart, pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. Rude chart.
Let's go all the way back.
Just whatever Manchester United legend you can sneak in there. And
Andre, maybe go back to Kanchelskis days.
kind of sounds like
I wonder where that came from, Andre.
I was thinking Andre Onana. I don't know if you want to associate
Dimitar.
with that. Yeah.
So
Dimitar,
what names
Luis.
has your wife picked? Has she picked any that you...
She's picked a couple, and they just might be a little bit too popular for me. Like, my name's Gareth, right? And I love the fact she's like, no one ever knows how to say your name or spell your name when we
Yeah.
go to a restaurant. I'm like, yeah, I know it's slightly annoying, but I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I'm the only one. No one else got my name around it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I want him to have a slightly unique
You moved to
name.
Wales?
Yeah, well, there'll be a little bit of Welsh influence in this.
Yeah.
I've got a half Welsh family.
So what names is your wife going for then?
She's quite a big fan of the name Harrison. I think she's got a little bit of Jackson. She kind of like Lucas. I just can't get behind any of those.
Yeah, I don't think any of those played for United, so you gotta go.
Correct.
Gotta go elsewhere.
Correct.
All right, guys, that'll wrap up our interview. Make sure.
We'll let you know what people say.
Yeah,
and
make
that's
sure to
it.
let us
Love
know
it.
what names you suggest. And again, big
long-
thanks to Gareth for being here today. And best of luck with your first child, man. Congratulations
Appreciate it.
again. Thank you for being here
We
today.
will not call it Barry.
No, I
Thank you.
hate my name. Hate it.
And we're good. And a big thank you to Gareth again for coming here and taking time with us, sharing his stories about growing up, supporting Man United. I feel like his
A well-spoken young man.
very well spoken.
Yeah.
I feel like the other part of his family, the Arsenal fans, might be a little better spoken. But
I was talking to him, and he's actually right. A lot of people when they come on here, Russell, Man City,
Samir,
yeah, some of them, but not so much Samir, no. But some of the ones we can tell where they're from in England.
Yeah.
Like you get somebody from Newcastle, he's from Manchester.
Yeah.
Actually, when you're from Manchester, you're called a Manc. You
I didn't know that.
M-A-N-C, yeah, Manc.
Yeah.
It's quite weird 'cause it does
I
rhyme.
don't know,
It
yeah,
does
I
rhyme
know.
with wank, doesn't it?
It does rhyme
There
with
is
wank.
a god.
Yeah, there you
is a
go.
god.
It makes sense. It's just one
Yeah.
letter off.
Yeah.
All right, Barry, we got to get into it. Speaking of wank, wanker of the week. Do you want
Do you
me
know
to go
what? I
first?
don't
Do
think you
wanna
need to ask me anymore because as long as Chelsea have got them fucking owners and they're fucking around,
I knew
mean
you'd
it.
go. I know you
What
would.
else can I choose?
It's your club is a soap opera.
So,
it's truly you and Man
don't ask me
United more
again
than anyone else.
Until
you win a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you win your next game.
No, it's not. No, I don't care about winning now.
Until
they
one of them's
just
out?
fuck off. You're ruining it. Go away.
I'm gonna go with the man who injured Odegaard over international break as my wanker of the week. I don't even know his name.
You don't know who he is?
I don't know his name.
Who are they playing against?
I don't even know. I forget. They won 2-1 though. I know they won 2. Oh, it was against Austria.
Was it a bad tackle or just a?
It's just unlucky. They're both going for the ball. Odegaard's foot kind of gets tripped up, ends up rolling his ankle. There was no malice in it. I didn't watch it and think like he's trying to injure him. What a dirty play. No, it happens. But I have to give you wanker of the
between
week.
Arsenal players and Chelsea players.
What, we win things?
No.
Oh.
What the fuck have you won?
More than you? Beat your ass?
European? No, you haven't.
I'll
So
beat you.
no, when an Arsenal player gets hurt, it's a bandage, it's ice, and he's off for 2 weeks. Chelsea player gets hurt, and I'm fucking telling you, check it out. Put a band-aid on, get back out there, mate.
No, you
Band-Aid don't
literally
get it.
have like
Come on, yeah.
50 subs for every position,
No.
so it doesn't matter when you get an injury because you've got 8 players in that position on your bench already. We sadly don't have that
50
luxury.
players with 50 band-aids.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
50 IQ as well, but
No, we're not that smart.
anyways, guys, that'll do it for our episode. Big thank you to Gareth again, and make sure you come back next week. The Premier League is back this weekend, so make sure you stick around for another episode next week. Till then, peace.